right.
Countdown is on.
Yeah, it is on, isn't it? It's just 2 days now until the biggest game in the career of many of the England squad.
They play Spain in the Euros final on Sunday in Berlin. The England players are still at their training base near Erfurt, and we can head there now to our chief reporter, Kaveh Solhekol. Kaveh, Gareth Southgate has led England to back-to-back Euros finals. He's been talking about what it's going to take to win the match. So how will he approach this game?
Very good question. First of all, I've got to tell you about the weather here, because the weather in Germany this summer has been like England's performances. You never know what to expect. Normally we try and bring you a beautiful scenic shot of where we are because Erfurt is such a beautiful city. But unfortunately, the weather is so bad that we've had to huddle under this tree. So I apologise that the view is not very scenic. But regarding your question, enough about the weather. I think Spain are the favourites, just the favourites for the final on Sunday. But I still think England have got a very good chance of becoming European champions for the first time. The way they have to approach this game, they have to be very, very disciplined. And Gareth Southgate has already spoken about that. The problem is, when you play Spain, everybody knows how Spanish sides like to play. They like to dominate possession. So you have to accept the fact that you are going to have long passages of play where you don't have the ball. So that means you have to be very disciplined. You have to keep your shape. You have to press as a unit, not just players pressing on their own. And then also, when you have possession, it's also very, very complicated when you are playing against Spain, because Spain are famous for pressing very quickly, pressing high, pressing very aggressively all over the pitch. So when you have the ball, you really have to look after it. You cannot afford to give the ball away, especially anywhere near your own goal in the final third. Because if you give the ball away, if you lose possession, then Spain will hit you very, very quickly. So it's going to be a very difficult game for England. I think it's going to be very tactical. They have to be very, very disciplined. But interestingly, I was reading something that Harry Redknapp had written today. Of course, the former Spurs manager, somebody who a lot of people think should have been the England manager at one point or another. And he says that he makes England the favourites. He says that on paper, when you look at the kind of players that England have, he doesn't think that they have players, Spain have players like Harry Kane or Jude Bellingham or Phil Foden. So I don't think we should go into this game underestimating England's chances. I think a lot of people would make Spain just the favourites. But I think I would make it 50-50, because I think if England can play at their best and stick to their game plan, then they can certainly become European champions on Sunday.
Now, Kaveh, there have been reports this morning that the FA wants Southgate to sign a new contract. Can you see that happening?
Can I see it happening? I think there is a chance, but I think it would be probably a change of heart on Gareth Southgate's part. The way I can see it happening is if England win on Sunday, they're European champions, and Gareth Southgate thinks, you know what, I've got such a great squad. I've got so many young players, up-and-coming players as well, who I've integrated into my squad, who've now become European champions. I fancy a crack at the World Cup. I think I could lead England to World Cup glory in 2 years' time in USA, Mexico and Canada. So I think if all that happens, then I think there's a chance that Gareth Southgate would sign a new contract to remain as England manager. The situation is clear. We've been talking about it for more than a year. Gareth Southgate's contract runs out in December. He's always said he doesn't want to talk about it during this tournament. He doesn't want to talk about his contract in the build-up to this tournament. But he's going to sit down and talk to the FA once this tournament is over. And the FA's position has always been very, very clear. We've talked about it on plenty of occasions. The FA want Gareth Southgate to stay. They would like him to sign a new contract. But you know how difficult the England job is. You know how much it's taken out of Gareth Southgate. You know all the criticism that he's had to put up with. And we also know that he feels he has unfinished business when it comes to club football. So I think it would be understandable if Gareth Southgate did decide to leave after this final. But I think he's done enough to be given the respect and the time to make his own mind up and decide what is best for him. Because I think after Sunday, Gareth Southgate doesn't owe England anything. I think the FA and a lot of England fans would be delighted if he were to stay. But of course, there are always some people who will never be won over. There are always some people who think that Gareth Southgate hasn't done enough to keep his job as the England manager. But thankfully, those people are in the minority.